Bucky, that was a tough one yesterday, brother. That was a hard on all of us. What was the feeling down there on the sideline? It had to be even worse than it was in our broadcast booth at the end, right?
Yeah, it's heartbreaking. That's probably one of the worst losses or most disappointing losses I've been around. Just in terms of, Frank, I just never seen anything. 29-10, 1 minute left in the third quarter. Game should be over. And for us to lose in the fashion in which we lost, just really disappointed because you feel like we've come so far. We have come so far in terms of changing the culture and doing those things. But in those moments where the good teams go ahead and slam the door shut, we didn't do it. And so now what it does is it leads to more questions as you're going down the stretch. Do we have the competitive stamina? Do we have the emotional maturity to be able to win these games that we should be able to win?
Bucky, what did you see as the chief culprit? Was it the inability to get to the passer? Because Liam Cohen certainly talked about that after the game last night. Was it the inability to protect Trevor? Did Trevor make bad choices? What was in your mind in that 26-0 fourth quarter, which is really 20-0? The last point was an oh by the way, but it was a 20-0 quarter for sure. What was the chief culprit for the Jags as you see it?
I would say one, we exhaled, right? So when you get up 29-10, like the natural human reaction is like, hey, we got this. There's no way they can come back. Like, hey, we'll just kind of cruise into and cruise through the finish line. And what we did is we gave a desperate team a little confidence because then the quarterback strung together some completions, made a couple plays. They got the touchdown. And even though you're still up 11, right? And the energy in the stadium, you're still like, hey, come on, man, we got this. And then, Frank, we go 3 and out.
Yeah.
And then when they got that next one, then it becomes a game. And what happened, the shift in pressure, needing to execute under pressure, offensive line, you got backups in the game. All of a sudden you look up and McCarry and Anton Harrison is on the sideline, and you're scuffling trying to find the play, and you just couldn't get it done. And I'll be honest, like, Trevor couldn't make a couple plays that you were hoping that he could bail us out and kind of finish it. And so it's a combination of all three phases wearing out. And then ultimately what got us in the final quarter, the defense played, 33 snaps?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you just wear down. And they wore down. And so that last drive, they just didn't have anything left to give. And so walk away with a loss.
So as you move forward, what do? You've always said, you've been adamant about this on our broadcast and then here on Mondays with me, that you got to run the ball because that's who you are. Can they still be that team? Can they still be a team that tries to run it for 150 yards a game? I mean, do you change what you do? What do you do now if you're Liam Cohen, Bucky?
No, you got to lean into what you believe in. And so this is a test for him as a head coach. And he said it, man. He said the storm is coming. And so now you got to double down on your belief. If you believe in running the football, you got to find a way to run the football. You got to be committed to it. You got to stand 10 toes down. This is what we're going to do. And then you got to continue to challenge the team that we're going to go to work every day. We're going to do the same thing that we've done, and we just have to execute better. Hey, man, I can't say anything about the effort. I can't say anything about the toughness. The execution part we have to improve upon. But I will say this, because I was privy to being there post-game, and I know sometimes they release those things to the public, but I'll say the way that he handled it, tremendous amount of maturity. But what he did, he was very honest. Hey, we got to own this. We got to own the fact that we gave this one away. But there's nothing we can do to change it. We got to go forward. We can't get this one back. We got to focus on the next one. And so we got to prepare. We got to get ready. We got to go. And he's right. We can't get that one back. We got to find a way to get the next one.
I made 2 suggestions on the program today, and I want to see what you think of these. And they're a little bit outlandish, but I mean, your roster is what it is. I wouldn't mind seeing, at least in practice, a peek at Anton Harrison at left tackle and Cole Van Lannon at right. I know they love Cole Van Lannon.
Yeah.
That's assuming Ezra Cleveland's back to play left guard. Would you want to see – I'll get to the next one in a minute, but would you want to see that, Anton? Again, you can't make massive changes. Hayes made this point in our show, and he's right. You can't just all of a sudden make massive changes in the middle of the season. I understand that. But that's not a massive change. Anton at left tackle and Cole Van Lannon at right. Would you like to see them take a peek at that in practice at least?
I mean, yeah. I mean, let's be honest. Like, Walker Little's had some problems against the premier pass rushers that we faced on the schedule. Speed and quickness has given him an issue. And the one thing that we know, man, when your quarterback starts getting hit, it changes how he performs. Because now he doesn't believe that the protection is going to hold, so then he gets rid of it quicker. He's not as accurate because he's trying to do that. So, yeah, I would be up for that. I could see playing some musical chairs on their front line, trying to tinker with the combination to see if you can get a better combination, get better performance. Because let's be honest, man, since that Seattle game, man, we've been getting kicked up front now. Yeah. Seattle, the Rams, we've had some tough times trying to get this thing fixed.
Yeah, and the other to that end, the other suggestion I had, at least to think about, was on the defensive side. And I don't mean change positions, but at least in nickel and third, move Trayvon inside and get Dennis Gardeck as a pass rusher. Maybe play Strigo and the young guys more than Agba and some of the more veteran guys. I wouldn't mind seeing Trayvon inside and Strigo or Green or one of the young guys outside opposite Josh Hines-Allen. If I lost my mind, would you like to see that?
I mean, look, I think you can do all those combinations because now here's what was apparent. You got to change the combination. You got to move the dial a little bit. You got to change the location of some of your premier pass rushers to see if you can find better matches for them to impact the game, to disrupt the timing of the quarterback. Trayvon inside, Josh Allen moving from right to left, whatever that is, you got to do it. Because right now, man, it's all hands on deck. And I'm not saying that it's situation critical. It's a must-win game. But if you really want to make a run at it, you got to get to 10, and you got to do everything in your power to give yourself the best opportunity to get to 10 wins. And that may mean moving some people around to upgrade the pass rush.
Bucky, what do you see the future? I say the future, the present, I guess is what I'm talking about, the immediate future of the receiving corps. Jakobi Meyers is here. You know he's a guy they really liked. Had a couple catches the other day, just got here. Parker Washington's playing it at a high level. Brian Thomas Jr. is coming back at some point. De'Ami Brown tried to come back from that concussion. What's the future? Who are the key guys going to be? Parker Washington looks like he's going to be a key guy. Brenton Strange will be back. What do you see the key is the receiving corps moves forward?
Well, look, I think the key is you got to get your main guys back. Parker Washington certainly has been a revelation. He's really stepped up with his opportunity, so you love that. I like what I saw in the brief action that Jakobi Meyers got in terms of the ball heading his way. Natural pass catcher. I would say he's as natural in his hands, rival what Travis Hunter brings in terms of them being ball catchers. But if they're not available, I'm going to say this, man, and maybe I'm a little biased. Man, I think they got a little something in Trammell. I think Austin Trammell comes in and does some things. He's always in the right spot or whatever. So I think you got to put your most dependable, reliable receivers on the field. If you want the passing game to pop, you got to throw it to people that can catch it. More importantly, you got to throw it to people that are going to be at the right spot so they can optimize the opportunity to catch the ball.
What about Brian Thomas Jr.? It's too early to give up on him, right? I mean, he's in his second year after having a brilliant rookie season. What do you think about it? I know he's had some struggles. What are your thoughts on BTJ?
Look, man, you got to keep – look, one thing that we know is you got to judge the body of work. A year ago, we were talking about him being the best wide receiver the Jags have had since Jimmy Smith. This year, it hasn't been as much. But, look, that person that we saw that we were ready to anoint like the ultimate wide receiver one, he's still out there lurking. We got to find a way to rebuild the confidence and put him in a situation where he can be great, whether it's moving him around, put him on select routes that plays to his strengths. We got to do that. I just know the guy is really talented. And you always want to give the talented guys an opportunity to find their way out of a slump. Look, Parker Washington, Travis Hunter, Jakobi Meyers, Brian Thomas Jr., that's a really good wide receiver core. They got to play better, but we got to get all those guys on the same page.
Bucky Brooks with us talking Jaguars football. All right, you live in Los Angeles. The Chargers play in your hometown. They look good last night, boy. What are the Jags facing when the Chargers come to town? Tell us a little bit about that team.
Look, man, it's going to be a physical affair. I would say it's not going to be much different than what we saw from the Houston Texans when it comes to how they want to play. The Chargers, under Jim Harbaugh, pride themselves in being the emerging bullies on the block. They want to be physical at every turn. They want to run the football at you. They got a really good quarterback in Justin Herbert and some wide receivers, Keenan Allen and Ladd McConkey, that can make plays. And then on defense, it's funny, man. Defensively, they kind of want to do what the Jags want to do. They're going to make you drive the length of the field. They're not going to give you anything over the top, and they're going to dare you to be consistent moving the ball down the field. It's going to be a huge task, a big challenge for the Jaguars to take on the Chargers. But, look, they can get it done. They're just going to have to play at a high level to be able to get it done.
All right, final thing. You're in, and for people that don't know, most of you do know, Bucky works our sideline on the broadcast, but more importantly, he's in the locker room. He's in the locker room before the game. He's in the locker room at halftime when Liam talks to the team, and he's in the locker room after the game when Liam talks to the team, which means he's around the players. Being around the players like you are, what is their mindset? Obviously, that was a blow. It was a gut punch to everybody. Will they recover? It's a mentally tough team, I think. I'm around them enough to know that. Where will their mindset be? Will they be good to go, in your opinion?
They'll be good to go at the beginning of the game. I think when you get to those critical situations, that's when you really see what the team is made of. Because of the way that we lost yesterday, the way that we weren't able to execute with the league, it can get a little hairy when that situation comes up again. But the only way to get over it is you got to get over it. You got to get through it. So they have to be able to win in those situations. They got to be able to finish the deal, close the game out. And when they start to build some confidence doing that, that's when this team will go next level. I'm still confident in the squad. I'm still pleased with what I've seen. Disappointed in yesterday's results, but hopeful that we can get this thing turned around and finish it the right way.
What's happening, folks? It's your main man, ET. And I want to personally thank you for watching 1010XL Jaguars on 1010XL's YouTube. And before you click over, make sure you like and subscribe and check out our other team-specific YouTube channels. Come on, somebody.